Good evening. I'd like to call to order tonight's public hearing meeting prior to the regularly scheduled city council meeting. Tonight's public hearing is a proposed ordinance vacating a portion of Wood Street. Mr. Rossi, please.
Thank you, Mary Workman. There is an unopened and unimproved portion of Wood Street which extends generally south for a distance of 40+ feet from the terms of the improved portion of Wood Street, and is approximately 50 feet in width. Donald and Catherine Reed submitted an application for the vacation of 30 feet of the full width of the unopened street, beginning at a point 10 feet south of the terminus of the improved portion of the street. In their request, the Reeds state that they have maintained the right-of-way by mowing, weeding, and leaf raking the area for over 40 years and desire to landscape it as they see fit. Existing trees would be maintained. As required, a hearing notice was placed upon the property, and the legal notice of this hearing and the availability of the proposed ordinance for public review was published in the Times Observer on October 1st and October 8th. The street vacation process requires that a public hearing be held prior to council taking official action upon the proposed ordinance vacating the stated portion of the unimproved street. During this public hearing, residents are invited to provide comments regarding the proposed vacation of a portion of Wood Street. Council will consider adoption of the ordinance during the regular meeting immediately following this hearing.
Thank you very much. I just want to discuss with the public and the council and remind everybody this is a public hearing, so the council is in complete receive mode. So we are ready and available to listen to any comments relative to this issue, but there will not be a dialogue back and forth until we take up the business in the regularly scheduled council meeting. So at this point, I would invite anybody from the public that would like to address this particular issue to come forward. Okay. And hearing none, I can close the meeting and we can wait until the business to address it as well during the regular council meeting, if anybody would like to do that at that time as well. There's one more time, would anybody like to address the council as part of the public hearing process?
I'd just like to mention one thing.
Okay, sir. Would you please just come forward and state your name, please, for the record?
My name is Don Reed, and I'm the petitioner to request the vacation of that. And I think like I say, the only intent we have is to landscape that lot. You know, we've been maintaining it and so on. So there's no major changes going to be though, other than maybe bringing in some topsoil and replanting it. That property is going to be split between myself and the neighbor across the street. We both have adjoining property. That's going to be Chris Soderberg. So essentially, I think the way it's going to be titled, if I'm not mistaken, is that I'll get my wife and I'll get 25 feet of that right away, and Chris Soderberg will get the other 25 feet. So it's basically going to be split into two parcels, but the whole section will be vacated. My understanding of the vacation process is correct. So,
okay.
So that's it.
Well,
Thank you very much for your attention.
Would anybody else like to address council concerning this issue? Okay, hearing none. That public hearing is closed. I'd like to open the October 20th regular city council meeting. Will you all please rise and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mrs. Leary, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Flasher? Here. Here. Mr. Cashman?
Present.
Mr. Gilbert?
Here.
Mrs. McCain? Here. Mr. Villela?
Present.
Mayor Workman,
Here.
Mr. Kowski. Here. We have a quorum with 6 council members in attendance and 1 vacant seat.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, we have a full house tonight. It's great to see everybody. I know we have a lot of important business in front of the council tonight. Again, I would just like to thank everybody for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us tonight and to join the city council as we take up some very important issues tonight. I would just like to reiterate as well that 2 of the council members are currently traveling on business and will be participating fully as through the Zoom uplink. So at this point as well, I'd like to open up the floor to any visitors. I'm sorry, I'm going to skip back 1 step. I do want to make an announcement. Please be advised that there is an executive session tonight at 6:30 immediately prior to this meeting. The purpose of the session was for discussion concerning a proposed real estate tax settlement in the West of Liberty and the landing tax assessment appeal. So at this time, I would like to open up the floor to anybody that would like to address the council on an issue that is not on the agenda. Okay, hearing none, we will move on to I'm asking for a motion to approve tonight's agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, vote nay. That passes unanimously. Thank you. Is there any motion tonight to amend the agenda? And if so, is there a statement or purpose therefore?
I make a motion, we do not amend the agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions, comment, or debate? All those in favor, vote aye.
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 All those opposed, vote nay. Okay, hearing none, that also passes unanimously. Okay, moving on to prior meeting minutes, we have in front of us and part of the packet, the September 15th regularly scheduled meeting minutes and the meetings from September 29th special meeting. I'd like to hear a motion to approve the minutes from those meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions, comment, or debate on the approval of the meeting minutes? Okay, all those in favor, vote aye.
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 All those opposed, vote nay. That also passes unanimously. Thank you. Mrs. Leary, do we have any correspondence for the evening? Okay. Great. All right, so one of the best parts of tonight's city council meeting, we have an opportunity to listen to Mr. David Snyder with the Allegheny River cleanup. As everybody knows, in September, they completed another great year of taking care of our beautiful river. So Mr. Snyder, if you wouldn't mind coming up.
Can I do it from here?
You can do it from there. That'd be great also. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor Warman and City Council. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share the results of this year's cleanup. When I was here 2 years ago, I worried that I might have overwhelmed or possibly bored you with too many numbers. So I know there's a lot of important business tonight, and I'll try to be brief. Before I go further, though, I want to publicly thank all the businesses and organizations that made this year's cleanup possible. I know you already have the list in front of you, so I won't read it aloud, but I do want to take a moment to recognize them. I never feel like I do this publicly often enough, and they truly deserve recognition. These partners don't just write checks or lend equipment. They show that this community values its river and the people who care for it. They support both financial and logistical, is what this cleanup, their support. both financial and logistical, is what allows this cleanup to happen year after year. So this year's totals, this year we had 154 volunteers donating 1,232 hours. We removed 1,500 pounds of recyclable metal, 40 tires, and 28 cubic yards of garbage. That's enough garbage to fill the bed of a standard pickup truck 9 times. Just to put that all in perspective, over the last 17 years, we've spent 59 days on the river. That includes the Conowongo Creek. That's almost 2 months worth of cleanup days. At least 16 of those days, 27%, were spent within the city limits of Warren. And that doesn't even include the Conowongo Creek sections inside the city limits or the stretch from Betts Park westward. A significant portion of our effort directly benefits this city. Now here's a little pitch. Many volunteers use their personal vehicles to transport garbage, tires, metal, even other volunteers. A modest contribution, such as gas cards, could help offset that expense and make it much easier for people to participate. What really stands out every year isn't just the numbers, it's the people. Families, scout troops, anglers who know the river better than most of us know our living rooms, and folks who didn't know how to paddle on day one, but ended up the day pulling tires like seasoned warriors. One of my favorite things to hear, and I hear it often, is someone saying, I drive past this river every day. I had no idea what was really in there. And after a day with us, they never look at it the same way again. That awareness, that ownership, that's community stewardship. It's not just a cleanup, it's a treasure hunt, part endurance test and part floating comedy show. Over the years, we pulled up all sorts of things, of interesting things. And in 2022, we found a giant horseshoe, 500-pound horseshoe. And there it is with my car. And it's a great reminder that sometimes the river gives us surprises you just can't plan for. So at this point, I'd like to show a short 3-minute video that was made in 2016 by Grace Tillotson, who lived in Warren for several years, worked for the Forest Service, and was a key member of our cleanup planning team. She captures the spirit of the volunteers, the river, and the community like nothing else I could describe. Sometimes a video is worth 1,000 words, and I think this one will do a great job of showing you the heart of what we do. So how is the river doing? It's good. Volunteers now handle less metal, fewer tires, and less garbage per day than in the early years, showing that our efforts are making a real difference. The river is cleaner, safer, and more ecologically sound than ever. But it's more than just numbers. It's about pride in our city and our river. I invite council members to come to see firsthand. Even a single day on the river shows the dedication of volunteers and the beauty of our waterways in a way that no chart ever could. Looking forward, our goal is simple: keep the momentum going, engage new volunteers, foster partnerships, and show that taking care of our river isn't just a task, it's a shared responsibility and a shared joy. Thank you again for letting me share these results and for supporting the Allegheny River cleanup. Because the river runs through our city and through our lives, together, we ensure it stays healthy and vibrant for generations to come. Thank you very much for your time.
Can't say enough good things about the effort of all the volunteers and the organizations that support this. There's a lot of different reasons why the Allegheny River has won the River of the Year for a couple times, and the Conowingo as well. And I think this is at the top of the list in terms of one of the reasons why. You hit it, I think, right on the nail, right on the head, in terms of ownership and pride in such a beautiful natural wonder of the Allegheny River. And I really think, our community embracing that and continuing to support that, and the recommendations that you have going forward to make that effort even better, I think are well received, and we'll continue to work hopefully to help that out. Would anybody else on council like to offer anything up as well before we move on?
I can only say it's one of the best volunteer efforts that are in this community, which shows how great Warren and Warren County is all about. And David, you got that started, and
No, I won't take credit for starting it.
okay, you always look like you're the guy that got it started, but you're at the forefront, and so I give you the credit. And I hope things continue, and when you get worn down and out, I hope there is somebody right behind you. Remember, succession planning is always great. And
Well,
thanks again for the huge effort. It is a huge effort.
Great, thank you again.
I would
So that takes.
like
ahead,
to,
Ms.
yeah.
Fleischer.
I would like to kind of piggyback off what Mr. Cass said about it being a great volunteer organization. I've actually participated for several years. The camaraderie amongst volunteers is not much runs parallel to it. And there are people who come back every single year and continue to serve because it is a great cause to put your time into. But some of the stuff that's found is quite incredible, and some of it's kind of funny, and some of it kind of makes you wonder what on earth were they thinking. But thank you so much for the effort of the Allegheny River Cleanup crew and the constant planning and keeping it accessible for the entire community. I hear that a lot, that it's family friendly, kids can come, adults can come, and it really is quite fun for what it is, just take the trash out of water. So thank you again for coming and giving such a great presentation.
Thank you. Okay, would anybody else like to address that issue or comment? Okay, thanks again. We're going to move on to the business part of the agenda. So we'll start with agenda item 7A, and that is a council vacancy, selection of a member to serve until January 3rd, 2028. So I'm just going to read some information off the blue sheet, and then I'll add some additional information as we go through this process. So in accordance with past practice, the order of the selection process will be as follows. Each applicant will be given the opportunity to make a brief statement to the council. Council members will be given the opportunity to pose questions to the applicants. The floor will then be open for nominations with no second to the nomination to be required. And fourth, a roll call vote will be taken with the applicant receiving the requisite minimum number of 4 votes to be named to fill the vacant seat through January 3rd, 2028. In the event of a tie vote, a second vote will be called. It should be noted that should the council refuse, fail, neglect, or be unable to fill the vacancy within the 30-day period from the date the vacancy begins, the Court of Common Pleas shall then, upon petition of a council member or any 5 registered voters of the municipality, fill the vacancy by the appointment of a qualified voter of the municipality who shall serve for the same period as if appointed by council. So at this point, we will go through that process. So I just want to, I guess, add a little bit more clarity on how this will work. I know that this may feel a little awkward in terms of how this is being done in a public forum. So I want you to understand that we also understand that. So at certain times in the past on different issues, I've allowed members of the public to also join in the discussion or the debate. That will not happen as part of this proceeding. So each candidate will have an opportunity to come to the podium and make a statement to the council, and at which time the council will then be afforded the opportunity to ask questions if so desired. Okay. At the end of the 5 candidates that go through that process, that will start, I guess, the voting phase, so to speak, where candidates would be nominated by the council to then go up for a vote. The minimum number of votes, again, is 4. So we have to have a majority. There are 6 votes. So in order to win the seat, there would be, a 4 vote minimum to earn that seat. I want to skip, I guess, all the way back to the very beginning. We as a council are thrilled that there are 5 people that are willing and have applied for this position. We think we reiterate, and we heard it tonight again in a different context, but volunteerism on behalf of the city, whether it's on a committee or volunteering to run for a public office, or volunteering to put your name in the hat to join this process to try to earn that seat, is highly encouraged. And we applaud each and every one of you and the quality of the candidates that we have tonight. And I want to thank everybody for taking the time and the opportunity to spend that with us, and see if we can get a city council person here in the next bit of time. So with that, does anybody on the council or a candidate have a question before we start to proceed? Okay. All right. I could just go ahead and I'm just going to go with the list of candidates as I pulled them out of my envelope, and as they are in alphabetical order. So we're going to go with that. So the first candidate, Mr. Joshua Archer, you would like to proceed to the podium and address the council if desired, that would be great.
Just want to thank you for this opportunity to kind of give back to my community. About 10 years ago, Me and my wife made the decision to move back here to Warren, where I'm from originally. And I'm really looking as this is like an opportunity to really give back. I've been in the service industry most of my life, so I want to be able to serve. That's really what I'm looking to do. Have-
Thank you. Would anybody on the council like to pose any questions to Mr. Archer, please? Mr. Cashman?
Do you have a item that you would like to see accomplished if you got selected to city council?
One particular item.
Yes.
Well, one thing I saw just looking at the budget, where the money comes from for Warren, I saw a huge revenue stream coming from parking. I personally would like to see that go back to the retailers.
Go back, I'm sorry.
Go back to the retailers. I mean, we want to encourage shopping local, that's something that we could redistribute. Yeah, that was a big number. I was surprised to see how much money comes from putting those coins into those meters around town. That's encouraging people to come downtown. I live close enough where I'm walking downtown almost every single day. I see the activity. One thing I'd like to see is more people coming downtown.
Mr. Cashman, do you have any further
No,
questions?
Fine.
Ms. Flasher, do you have any questions?
Yeah, you said that you had moved back here. How long have you been living in the area again?
I moved back here in about 2015.
Okay. And are you involved in any other committees or volunteer organizations?
Right now I'm spending my volunteer hours with Warren Area Refugee Resettlement Network.
Okay. Well, that's great work, and I thank you for putting your name in the hat for this consideration. I know it's nerve-wracking. I myself filled a vacancy, so I know how nerve-wracking it can be to stand up there. So kudos to you for showing up tonight, and that's all the questions I had, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Villela, do you have any questions of the candidate?
I do not, but I would echo Ms. Flasher's mention of appreciation for, applying.
Okay,
Again, thank you for applying. So how do you feel if you're coming to a city council meeting and you feel like, do you feel comfortable voting in the opposition of everybody else? Or participating in that dialogue?
Feel comfortable voting in opposition?
Yes, and asking the tough questions.
I feel comfortable in voting with what I believe in. What benefits Warren the most.
Thank you.
any additional questions? Okay, I just, looking, when I went through your extensive resume, all kinds of great experience base there. But, based on your work history, what do you say are your best skills that you could bring forward to as a contribution to the council?
My best skills bring to the table. I've seen a lot of tourism, seen a lot of hospitality, seen it in different locations in this country and what is working and what's not working. I see some issues in Warren that I think we could bring back around as to what can we go to that next level. I currently work at the Chautauqua Harbor Hotel in Celeron, New York. I see people coming from all over the country just to visit Celeron. Why not Warren? Why isn't there those busloads of people coming to this area? So I don't just want to complain about it. I want to actually be involved to do something.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any additional questions of the council? From the council? Okay, Mr. Archer, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next candidate, Mr. William Bussaletti. Okay. Mrs. Savannah Casey, please.
Good evening, everybody. As the mayor said, I'm Savannah Casey. I work currently for the Warren County Chamber of Business and Industry as their Director of Operations. I've been there 8 years, lifelong resident of Warren County. Lived in the city with my husband and 3 children now for the last 6 years. But it's my home and I love it. And any way that I can serve in any capacity, I'm a big advocate on volunteerism. Try to instill that into my children, and I serve on a number of boards and subcommittees across the county. And so any way that I can give back, not only to the community and the residents, but especially to my children and future generations is why I'm here. And I appreciate the consideration and throwing my name in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, we'll go same order. Mr. Cashman, do you have any questions, please?
Same question. What's the one item you would like to accomplish if you were appointed?
We are avid outdoors family, and so the riverfront especially is a calling to me. I've actually volunteered for the river cleanup numerous times, and I didn't appreciate it as much as I should have when I was younger. And so I see the potential down there for the riverfront, and that's definitely a huge passion of mine.
Ms. Flasher?
Hi, Mrs. Casey. Again, kudos to putting your hat in the ring, and it's so nice to see a fellow millennial want to serve in public office. I know that you volunteer quite a bit, and you're kind of interwoven in many fabrics of our community here. Are you prepared with your bandwidth, what you're currently involved with, to be able to serve at a full capacity on council and to be present for all meetings and special meetings and community events, which I already know you go to, or do you have the bandwidth for such a thing?
Thanks, Danny. I appreciate that. And I do, definitely. I wouldn't have applied had I not thought that I could handle it. And so check my schedule. And obviously I have 3 kids that keep me very busy, and work keeps me busy as well. But if I'm going to serve and put my name into the hat, then I want to make sure I serve in the full capacity. So I do, yes.
Right. And with that being said, because you work for the chamber, some of what we do obviously deals with the chamber and foreign works. And are you prepared to use your discernment of when it's appropriate to vote and when not?
Absolutely, yes. And if I need to abstain or refrain from anything, I completely understand that. But yes, I will.
Well, thank you so much. And again, it's very nice to have you apply, and I am very thankful and appreciative for all the applicants. But thank you so much. That's all I had, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Villela?
Well, thank you, Savannah, for applying and expressing the interest. I guess my one question would be, why city council and why now?
I wasn't always one of the people that believed in the community. I was one of the kids that thought that there was nothing to do here. Like we hear a lot at the chamber, and I'm sure all of us have heard it. And so I'm coming to realize that later in life, and that I should have been giving back all along. And I want to instill that behavior in my children too, to be able to come back and be proud of Warren County and the city of Warren and all the great attributes that it has to offer. So I feel like I'm a day late and a dollar short doing it, and I should have done it all along. But I'm glad to be here now in the city because I live in it, but as a county as a whole, to be able to help in that capacity in my role at the chamber, and if the opportunity arose here. Thanks, Jared.
Are you good, Mr. Villela?
I am, yes.
Thank you. Mrs. McCain?
Thank you, thank you. So kind of back to what Danielle said, did you, just to clarify, did you say that you would in fact abstain from any votes regarding Warren Works and the chamber, or?
If I needed to abstain based on, financial discussions or if it came down to the funding and I had to, but I understand that this capacity is different and I need to separate myself from Warren Works and the WCCBI or WCDA. So I'm willing to make tough decisions. And I talk to my cohorts at the office and they understand too that it's separate. I have my own thoughts and ideas and own opinions.
So you would be comfortable if it was maybe making a decision, even if it wasn't directly related to Warren Works or the WCCBI, but might not be popular with the organizations. And, okay, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that question.
Yeah, similar question that I have in terms of your work history and your resume. Can you tell us what you feel are your best skills or attributes that are going to contribute to the city council position?
I would say critical thinking and creative thinking in the number of boards that I serve on and at my role at the chamber. You have to have the creative ideas and the approaches in order to come up with new revenue streams for funding or, volunteer recruitment, fundraising efforts through events and activities through the boards that I serve on. So the creativity, the younger approach from my age and demographic, and then the critical thinking part as far as, being fiscally responsible and understanding that mindset.
Okay. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, our next candidate, Mr. Jeff Eshborn, please.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Good evening, personnel. Good evening, guests. Thank you all for being here with us this evening. I've lived in Warren since 1962, meaning the county, with the exception of 1 year, and I went to improve my education back in 78. I've lived in the city for 22 years in the same dwelling, and my objective is to uphold the integrity of this governing body to keep Warren the way it is. And one thing I would like to do is, speaking of dedication, on January 14th of 2009, I had a fire in my house in the wall. I called in at 317, and thanks to our fire department, I still have the same home. Within 6 minutes, they had the street blocked off with firefighting equipment in line with an ambulance there, and they had hoses drawn all within 6 minutes. And I think they should give I don't even know how to say it. I gave them a substantial amount of money through my United Fund when I worked at Cummins. And like I said, I would like to uphold the integrity of this governing body to make the city even better than it is now. I think nothing can be perfect, so I think that's what we should do. I would like to see some measures taken to sustain or increase the population by creating jobs, inviting businesses in here.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'm going to turn it over to the floor. Mr. Cashman, do you have any questions for Mr. Eshborn, please?
Mr. Eshborn, you in your comments answered the question I had, so thank you.
I hope it was a good answer.
It was.
Mr. Gilbert?
You're doing all the heavy lifting for me, so I'm just letting it go around.
Okay. Miss Flasher, please.
Mr. Eshborn, in your comments, did you say that you would like to keep Warren the same or that you would not like to keep Warren the same?
No, I'd like to improve Warren by increasing the workforce, increasing the population. But as far as the integrity of the city of Warren, I admire it, and that's why I'm here.
Okay, so for efforts such as Warren Works, which is kind of aiming to modernize the county and to bring us, similar to what you're asking for a workforce, but in other ways where we might potentially see a shift in a mindset, are you prepared to vote and support such initiatives?
No.
Thank you. That's all I had, Mr. Mayor. Oh, and thank you, Mr. Eshborn, for applying. I have to keep saying that because I've already said it to everyone else. Thank you so much for applying. Kudos. We definitely appreciate your interest in candidacy. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Valhalla, please.
No questions, just a thank you, Mr. Ashbourne, for your application and interest.
Mrs. McCain?
It was hard to hear exactly what Danielle said. Did she ask you if you would vote for Warren Works and you said no?
I
Oh, I didn't hear what you said no to.
guess I didn't really hear the question, but I did say no, but I'm not sure if I should have.
What do you think you said no to?
Question.
All
I
right.
would vote for Warren Works.
Okay, so,
Absolutely.
but you're not sure what you voted no, said no.
Well, let's just,
I-
let's have Ms. Flasher ask him the question
Okay.
again, just so there's no,
Thank you.
yeah, so we're clear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ms.
No,
Flasher?
my-
you
so my
repeat your
question- Yeah, my question was that you had mentioned wanting the integrity of Warren to stay the same. And I had asked if you would be willing to vote and or support initiatives that may potentially shift how Warren is currently mindset wise and potentially kind of expand on the current integrity. And if Mr. Ashbourne would be open to those types of initiatives and ideas to break through to kind of modernize the way that Warren is currently.
Well, absolutely. That's why I brought the word integrity into my answer.
Thank you, Mrs. McCain, for seeking that clarification.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Nothing else.
okay. Thank you for your application for sure. I want to ask you also in terms of your work experience, you know, what do you think are your strongest attributes that you would bring to the council if elected to this position?
Well, when I was a college instructor for vocational education for continuing adults, I was voted the continuing adult education instructor #1 based on student input in the school, which results in I'm good with people, I share ideas, I'm a good listener, I'm not afraid to vote no on something, because if you don't vote no on something, that generates conversation to improve a matter.
Excellent. Any additional questions from the council? Thank you very much, Mr. Ashbourne.
Thank you all.
Okay, our last candidate is Miss Bianca Villela. I don't see where she's been able to.
She's there.
Okay, great.
Hi.
Hi, Bianca. I know we have a little bit of a time delay when we're talking on Teams or Zoom, but you have the floor. So if you'd like to address the council, please do so. And then we're going to open up the floor for questions coming back towards you. So right
Okay.
now, go ahead, please.
Awesome. My name is Bianca Villela. I am returning, obviously. I was the one of 2 sitting junior members last year, and I just really enjoyed it. It helped me learn a lot about the city and how it works and how we get things to pass. And I would absolutely love to be able to have a real voting voice this time around. So just being able to actually make an impact on my community is something that is very important to me, and I think this would be the perfect opportunity for that.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to open it up to the floor now. Mr. Cashman.
Bianca, what would be the one item from Morgantown, West Virginia that you would like to see be enhanced in the city of Warren?
Well, I really care about, I don't know, okay, I care about Mulberry Park a lot because I used to play around there, and the restoration to it is very important to me, so it would be very exciting to see that get done.
And because you're at school, which doesn't
Yeah.
preclude you from coming on the council on that, what would you say would be your time constraints in order to fully participate?
Honestly, I don't think that I would have any. Even here, Mondays are super open for me. I get done with class at 2:30 and usually I don't have that much homework. So I kind of have the night to chill and I would be able to attend. And obviously when I'm home, I would attend meetings in person.
That's it. Thank you.
Ms. Flasher, please.
Yeah, so obviously being a city council member is more than our monthly Monday meetings. Do you have a plan of how you're going to engage with the community and be available to talk with constituents, be present for issues, witness certain events, be present for certain events? How do you plan on working around that obstacle not living locally?
Yeah, so anytime I'm home, I like to see what is going on in the community. So I'm always willing to show up. Even here, there are a lot of people who live in the city of Warren who have come to school here. So I could keep them updated. Like my roommate, I let her know what's going on because she's also from Warren. And so I would just be more of a reach out voice to the people who are here, just keeping them in the loop. And then also being open to obviously contact people who are at home.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Malella, and kudos to you for putting your name in the ring again. I can't believe we didn't scare you off with your junior councilship, and we appreciate your willingness to be a candidate. And that's all I had, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Mr. Valella?
I will offer the same appreciation for application, and then I will withhold any questions.
Thank you. Mrs. McCain?
So kind of the same question that I've asked everybody else. So how do you feel about a topic that you might be inclined to vote differently from your father?
So this might sound a little harsh, but I do not care how my father wants to vote. I don't care what he has to think, and he knows that it's true. Him and I have talked about it before in the past. Actually, when I told him that I was going to apply, he was like, yeah, you're not my just like a record player of me, and I think people need to see that. I don't care what his opinions are. I don't care how he's going to vote. I'm going to vote for what I believe 100% of the time. You will never have to worry about me going against my morals or voting for something just because other people did, specifically my dad.
Thank you.
Yeah, just based on your resume and your application, can you tell me what do you think are the strongest attributes that you would bring to the role as a city council person?
Yeah, so obviously I am a lot younger than everyone else, so I feel that I would bring new, fresh perspectives and creative ideas. I'm also highly outspoken, which we may or may not have noticed. So I'm not worried to get my voice out there and really petition for what I believe and get it done.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, I would also like to commend your application and your willingness to step forward and apply for this role as with everybody else. So thank you very much. Any final questions for Ms. Valella? Okay, we've had an opportunity to hear from each of the candidates that is here with us tonight. Again, I just want to say that unfortunately, there's one seat available, and we have 5 great candidates that are applied and are willing to step forward and take on this role on behalf of the city and the city residents. So again, I would like to just thank each and every one of you for that willingness to contribute to the city in that way. I would also like to encourage you that if by chance you're not the candidate that gets selected tonight, my shameless plug for volunteerism. There's lots of opportunities to continue to serve in many different ways throughout the city. So I would just highly encourage you to take the enthusiasm that we're seeing tonight and, direct it into other opportunities in the city and the community at large. So once again, thank you very much. I think we were all thrilled as a council to have 5, great applicants for this role. So with that being said, does anybody on the council anyway have any questions about how we're going to proceed procedurally at this point? Mrs. McCain, yep.
Because the only real requirement is to live in the city of Warren, I just want to clarify how we can have somebody that lives in West Virginia be on council.
As I believe it's a residency issue, and she is not a permanent resident as a student of West Virginia, but it's a question. Then maybe we should ask the solicitor the opinion on that, but.
And we can certainly ask Ms. Valella, but unless she has changed her residency officially to West Virginia, it's my understanding that she's still a resident of the city of Warren. She just is attending school and is not always present.
And then the second question, will Jared be voting or abstaining from voting for his daughter? Is that a conflict?
We have to see if she gets a nomination.
Oh, well, but so should I ask that again if that happens?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, any additional questions on procedure related matters? Okay, I just want to reiterate. Nominations do not have to have a second to be voted upon, to be put in the list. When the list of nominees is gathered, Mrs. Leary will call the roll. So as you, in our typical roll call fashion, you will then at that point state the name of the candidate that has been nominated that is going to receive your vote. At the end of that round, we will just make sure everybody understands who voted for who and how many votes each candidate has, and then we will proceed accordingly. Okay, the magic number is 4. So at this point, Mr. Gilbert.
Savannah Casey.
I was
Okay,
also going. I was also going.
Mr. Gilbert nominated Mrs. Casey. Mrs. Flasher, you were speaking.
Yeah, I was going to nominate Mrs. Savannah Casey as well.
Okay, so we have Mrs. Casey nominated at this point.
I'd like to nominate William Busalati, although he did not appear tonight. I had a number of interactions when he was on the Trestle Committee, and seen him other times in the community, and I think he would do an excellent job.
Okay, we have 2 candidates that have been nominated. Any additional nominations? Going once, twice? Okay, the nominations have been closed. We have 2 candidates, Mrs. Casey and Mr. Bussaletti. Okay. At this point, we're going to take the roll call vote. You're going to state the name of the candidate that you wish to fill the role. And again, we will proceed accordingly. Mrs. Leary, please call the roll.
Ms. Flasher,
Busalati.
Mr. Cashman,
Busalati.
Mr. Gilbert,
Savannah Casey.
Mrs. McCain,
Savannah Casey.
Mr. Valella,
Savannah Casey.
Mayor Workman.
Savannah Casey.
We have 4 votes for Savannah Casey and 2 for Mr. Bussaletti.
The new council person will be sworn in at the end of the meeting, and that will be Miss Savannah Casey.
Thank you all. I greatly appreciate it.
Okay, that leads us to agenda item 7B. Proposed ordinance vacating a portion of Wood Street. Mr. Rossi, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Please reference the public hearing narrative. The application was reviewed by the Planning Commission and the Warren County Planning Commission. And the both bodies recommending the street vacation request be approved by City Council. Action requested council's consideration and motion regarding the proposed ordinance vacating a portion of Wood Street. Enclosed proposed ordinance and application.
Thank you very much. Okay, is there would anybody within the public like to make a comment on this agenda item at this point?
Just like to ask a question. So.
Mr. Campbell, would you please come forward, please? Thank you.
My question is, the city currently owns it, RDA currently owns it. Who's vacating it? The city?
Mr. Holtz.
Yes, the city owns or this.
So currently, there's no tax revenue from it.
No, it's actually a part of a street right of way, which does not give any taxes.
Will there be a tax revenue after it becomes part of their properties or yards?
They'll end up getting it. It'll be a part of their property, and in theory, their taxes would increase accordingly.
And currently, the city's incurring the expense of maintaining that property, so it's looks proper.
Well, it's an unaccepted, unimproved piece, so it's really not a piece of blacktop. It's really a piece of grass. It's not really. It's what we call a paper street or a unimproved, unaccepted right of way.
So we get tax revenue and less maintenance. I think it's a good thing, and that's my opinion.
That's correct.
Okay, is there anybody else within the audience that would like to address the council on this particular issue? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to the council floor. Would anybody like to take any kind of action on this? Mr. Gilbert?
I know we posted the property, correct? For this hearing.
Yeah.
Then we had an advertisement in the newspaper. Were letters sent to each homeowner surrounding?
Yes.
All right.
I'm meant to be familiar with this one.
Yeah, I didn't hear that being mentioned, so I wasn't curious.
I talked to every resident in this square.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve as submitted.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further question, comment, or debate? Mrs. Leary, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Asher?
Yes.
Mr. Cashman?
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert?
Yes.
Mrs. McCain?
Yes.
Mr. Valella?
Yes.
Mayor Workman?
Yes.
Motion carries with 6 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you very much. Okay, agenda item 7C, application for mural installation, the American Legion Post 135. Mr. Rossi, please.
Thank you, Mayor. American Legion Post 135 submitted an application for the installation of a mural on its building located at 412 Pennsylvania Avenue West. Legion plans call for a mural to be 6 feet wide and 8 feet high and will be placed on the building's north back wall. The mural will be painted directly on the building by artist Sarah Aola and will depict Chief Corn Planter. In accord with subsection 470-63 of the city code, it is required that the city council approve the mural rendering. Action requested council's consideration and motion regarding approval of the American Legion Post 135 mural rendering. Closed application mural rendering and a copy of subsection 4070-63 of the city code.
Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like to offer up to the public, anybody that would like to address the council on this issue. Mr. Roseville, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. A little history lesson on the American Legion. The American Legion was founded in Warren, Pennsylvania, shortly after World War I. First location was in the town of Kenzu, which at that time was Indian land, Seneca Indian land. When we flooded the dam, we moved chief corn planter to the city of Warren. So in working with the Seneca Indians, I think because we today sit on chief corn planter's land, if you went 200-300 years ago, we're doing a portrait of chief corn planter. This is at 17 was his first battle. He was a war chief until later on in life. He actually, George Washington feared him at one time. So, it was voted on by the Legion that since we are named chief corn planter and we're the only Legion in the country named after a chief that does not sit on an Indian reservation. There's only 4 of them. So with that, we're proposing at our cost, not anybody else's, that we paint this mural. And if you look, we painted the building, got rid of that horrible red color. And we painted that, and it's a grayish green. And now in the top right-hand corner, 8 feet 6 will be chief corn planter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to address council on this issue? From the public, if not,
Just a matter of history in that. I'm going through the Revolutionary War. I'm on my 2nd volume in that. And but anyway, Chief Corn Planter is mentioned in there, and obviously he fought on the side of the British.
Right.
Once the Revolutionary War was held, then he came on, to be a benefactor with General George Washington and settled down here peaceably throughout the rest of his life. But he did fight with the British, so, and he was pretty brutal. But here there, a lot of people look at corn planter as part of this heritage here, which it is. And I compliment you for putting a mural like that up on your American Legion post.
Thank you.
thank you. Any additional questions or comment, Mr. Gilbert?
Will there be a light on this mural?
Yes. Actually, we're waiting for the lift for the painting. We'll put a light on both murals. It'll be a solar light, pretty high powered, remote controlled. So as the time changes, we can change the light.
Okay. Any additional questions for the remote members, Mr. Valella?
No questions, but I would make a motion that we approve as presented.
I have no questions and I'll second that.
Yeah, we now have a motion. We have a second. Mrs. McCain, do you have any questions or comment? All right, any final questions, comment, or debate? Mrs. Leary, would you please call the roll?
Yeah, Ms. Lasher,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
Yes.
Mrs. McCain,
Yes.
Mr. Valella,
Yes.
Mayor Wortman,
Yes,
motion carried unanimously.
very much. I think that will be a great addition to Post
Thank you.
135 in the city of Warren.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item 7D, Planning Commission appointment. Mr. Rossi, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Santa Alberta submitted an application to serve on the planning commission. It is the city staff's recommendation that Ms. Alberta be appointed to fulfill the vacant term expiring December 31st, 2026. This appointment would bring the commission to a full roster. Action requested, council's consideration and motion regarding the appointment of Santa Alberta to the Planning Commission for the remainder of the term expiring December 31st, 2026. Enclosed completed application.
Thank you very much. Would anybody in the audience like to address the council on this particular issue? Okay, hearing none. Would anybody at the council level like to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions, comment, or debate on this issue? Okay, hearing none. Mrs. Leary, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Flasher,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert.
Yes.
Mrs. McCain.
Yes.
Mr. Valella,
Yes.
Mayor Wortman,
Yes,
motion carries unanimously.
great. And we want to thank Mrs. Allberger for her willingness to step up and serve the city in this role. And thank her for her willingness to volunteer. Okay, agenda item 7E. Proposed resolution adopting the 2025 hazard mitigation plan. Chief Krogler, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Disaster Mitigation Act, DMA of 2000 recognizes and addresses a community's vulnerability to natural hazards. By routinely conducting reviews which identify potential hazardous events, emergency management personnel and community members work together to produce a plan that will reduce risks and vulnerabilities and reduce the impact of disasters should they occur. Section 322 of the DMA requires that an approved hazard mitigation plan be in place as a prerequisite to receiving post-disaster hazard mitigation grant program funds. The Warren County Hazard Mitigation Plan was developed by the Warren County Commissioners, the Warren County Planning and Zoning Department, and the Warren County Emergency Management Department in cooperation with other county departments, municipal officials, and citizens. The plan is required to be reviewed and updated every 5 years. City staff have participated in this update by reviewing and providing current information on city capabilities, risk assessments, and identifying potential mitigation projects within the city of Warren. It is recommended that the Warren County 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan be adopted as the official hazard mitigation plan for the city of Warren. Action requested is council's consideration and motion regarding adoption of the Warren County 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan as the hazard mitigation plan for the city of Warren. And enclosed, you'll find the proposed resolution. The 2025 hazard mitigation plan was provided via an email attachment to each of the council members.
Thank you very much. Would any member of the public like to address the council on this particular issue? Okay, hearing none, we will turn it over to the council floor. Mr. Cashman, please.
David, can you give us an example of the implementation of this mitigation plan, hazard mitigation?
Well, as part of the hazard mitigation plan was to identify potential projects. Obviously, the Glade Levee project is still a consideration project. We've identified flooding areas around the city, down by the YMCA, for example. Mulberry Park was another example. There's been probably about 10 projects we identified as potential mitigation projects that could benefit from potential funding, which being part of the mitigation plan would provide. And then also, just as it stated, should an event happen and we have to apply for post-hazard, post-event funding, you have to have this be part of this or have your own mitigation plan.
Anything ever happened in the county where, people had to get into action and like, say a spill of gasoline out of one of the tankers from United?
Well, yeah, there's been, I would not say a large scale, but yeah, there are definitely different incidents that have happened, whether it's a hazardous materials release type incident or weather related incidents, presidential or governor declarations after a heavy snow could qualify for something that And those are all identified kind of on a percentage as to, you know, snowfall for us, obviously, is a major thing that we identify as a potential that could be a hazard. You know, earthquakes, yes, we've had earthquakes in this area, but it's a low risk assessment versus a large snowstorm, which gets a higher rating from us, from our municipality.
We actually have received funds over the years for certain incidences.
Mr. Gilbert, any questions? Mr. Valella, any questions?
Chief, are there any significant changes based on the previous or from the previous version of the plan?
The only significant change I would say is we identified more potential projects that could help mitigate potential hazards in the future from previous ones, from the previous plan from 2021.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Mayor, if I may ask one more.
Absolutely.
Chief, does this have any impact on any of the existing EMS agreements if we were to adopt this hazard mitigation plan?
No.
Thank you.
Ms. Flasher?
I don't have any questions. I just want to point out that this talked about quite a bit in COG, so I would encourage my fellow council people to review the minutes or a few months, of course, and discussing this in further detail and kind of goes into what the plan is used for, how we got here, what changes have been made. So I don't have any questions specifically, but I just wanted to make that comment.
Okay, thank you very much. Mrs. McCain, any questions? I just have a question on the rather large document, 354 pages, but fundamentally, the city of Warren having paid fire and EMS and police departments from a county perspective, how much is the city written in relative to, countywide emergency operations?
Well, I mean, I would say like each volunteer department, we're part of a mutual aid agreement, so we would factor into that. As far as the municipalities themselves, we don't really identify, even ours doesn't identify what resources, from other emergency agencies. It's kind of just the mutual aid agreement that if something happened, that we were gonna, work together as a community, so to speak.
Okay, so the mutual aid agreements still have primacy in terms of the relationships at department levels based on whatever scenario might be unfolding.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Would there be any action taken at the council level? Anybody want to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move that we approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further question, comment, or debate? Mrs. Leary, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Flasher,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert.
Yes.
Mrs. McCain.
Yes.
Mr. Vallola,
Yes.
Mayor Wortman.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, agenda item 7F, proposed resolution authorizing fiscal year 2025 CDBG funding application. Mrs. Byler, please.
Thank you, Mayor. City of Warren is an entitlement community through the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development under the Small Communities Program, and therefore is entitled to community block grant funding annually as long as all requirements are met and an application is submitted. The city's 2025 entitlement allocation is $308,627. The primary objective of the CDBG program is to develop viable communities by helping to provide decent housing, suitable living environments, and expanding economic development opportunities for persons of low to moderate income. The city has for a number of years used these funds to complete the full restoration of a qualifying street. The CDBG income limits, which are used to determine the street's eligibility, are set by HUD, and individual surveys are sent directly to residents of the proposed project area. As required, city staff held 2 public hearings to gather comments regarding use of the funds allocated to the city for the 2025 application. Additionally, city staff gathered income surveys from individuals currently residing on Hammond Street and verified that more than 51% of the households are at or below the HUD threshold. Therefore, it is proposed that the 2025 CDBG application be submitted and the funding be distributed as follows. Hammond Street under the Street Road Improvements Activity for $293,627 and administration for $15,000. Action requested is council's consideration and motion regarding the resolution authorizing submission of an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development in the amount of $308,627 for federal fiscal year 2025 small community funds. Enclosed is the proposed resolution and a map of the proposed project site.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to open up the floor to anybody in the public that would like to address the council on this particular issue. Okay, hearing none, I will turn it over to the council floor. Any questions or comments? Mrs. McCain.
Mayor Wortman. Maybe this is for future reference, but we talk about economic development, but seems historically we use these funds for street improvements. What would be something in the future maybe that we could do that would promote economic development for the underprivileged communities that we're serving with this money?
I mean, that's why we have the public hearings. We're always, open to ideas. We are kind of limited within the city of Warren with some of the projects that we can do. If anyone has any other ideas for future funding, we would definitely like to listen to them. This particular project is a multi-year project. So we did Hammond Street last year. We're looking to finalize some of the funding for this year, but yeah, if there's any ideas, we're open to.
But what are the parameters? So somebody would, have an idea what to propose or, to kind of start that discussion.
Really, it's to help the low income. I don't know if there's any project I can't think of off the top of my head.
It's kind of tough, and I've had this discussion a couple of times. You're doing something with the funds, it's a community-wide benefit. Unfortunately, the program won't allow it because this is the good part about Warren is the city as a whole is above or is higher than a 51% low lot. So the good news is we're not that bad. The bad news is because of that limit, you have to do site-specific projects. You're going to do a street or a sidewalk or any type of things, you have to survey that specific area. I've had discussion, and I know Danny or Councilman Flasher did this as well. Communities that are 51 or below, they can do many different opportunities, parks, playgrounds, handicap ramps. We have struggled over the years to do that. And I guess the flip side of it is these projects, and I know they're expensive and they're not very fun, but they are, Hammond Street is a concrete street. The city's gotten caught on Hammond Street for 20 years. It's probably the 3rd or 4th worst concrete street in the city. So it is a good project. It's just not an exciting project.
Yeah. Would it be possible to ask for examples of what other cities are doing?
You could do that, certainly. I off the top of my head, I do not know of a CDBG economic development project that I can actually name off the top of my head. That would qualify for a non-community wide city. I know that's a bunch of jargon, but
So what you're saying is the city doesn't qualify in general, for use of these particular funds in general. So particular neighborhoods perhaps or streets may qualify based on specific survey results of those particular, that area.
Of the
right?
incomes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
So-
and
but-
I get that,
Yeah.
because we've talked about it before. I just, I mean, this is a nice chunk of money.
Oh, yeah.
It would be nice to go back and ask, since they use economic development in the criteria, what ideas they have.
We could, and I think that's a great question, you know, we could email and, yeah, we could actually email and pose the question, hey, we're not 51%, what are examples of other communities that are?
For a
more
block, because
accurate than
off the
you?
top of my head, I couldn't, I don't know.
We will, let's ask that question and see what it produces.
Thank you.
You bring up the same thing I brought up with folks a while ago. We had a phone call discussion about this. I see on here it says decent housing. Does that mean housing in general? Does that structure then?
I'm sorry, what was it? Where's the decent housing?
By helping to provide decent housing, suitable living environment.
There's a housing aspect of CDBG. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if there was vacant land on Hammond Street, could build a house there? I mean, either,
I don't think that would qualify.
but what does decent housing mean then?
There.
You know, so if we
I
can,
really don't, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure.
and I can tell you, West Fifth, Upper West Fifth there has some vacant properties up there that we could
Yes.
start building homes on. I'm sure that meets the 51%. Like,
Writing these down and
That is a great idea. Yeah, I mean,
it's,
just an avenue we've never looked at before.
Well, let's do some inquiring and see what other good ideas might be out there that we can incorporate in future
do that.
opportunities. But fundamentally, the Hammond Street in particular, can you talk a little bit about the multi-year aspect of the project and where we're at relative to the whole closeout of the project? We got to be getting close, right?
So, well, Hammond Street hasn't started yet. We have 2024 funds allocated to that, so that was $293,000. Then we will apply for 2025 with the $293,000. The cost estimate for the repair of that road was about $900,000. So we will likely be applying in 2026 also for Hammond Street. Again, these are big, huge projects that this funding, we would
They're concrete
probably do.
streets,
it
that's why they're so
So if we were
expensive, because they're
replacing
concrete. Yeah, we actually take it out.
and replace it with blacktop and asphalt.
Yes.
We're
Okay.
currently doing Glenwood. It'd be a similar.
The same,
project.
we done the one, we've done it the Crescent, we've done it two blocks of Madison. We try to, that's always the target.
So Mayor Wortman, may I ask, so how does that work if you're doing a multi-year project? Does it cost the city any money? Or do we do part of the project and then each year we do
don't bid
it?
it out.
How does it work?
We don't bid out the project until all the money's been, until all the years have been applied for, accepted and secured. We don't bid the project until the money's.
So we'd have to get the funds for 3 years to start the project.
In this case, yes.
In this
case, not all, but in this case, yes.
So then it would preclude us from building a house somewhere else for the next 3 years.
You know, one more. We got two of them down, be one more to get the third after that.
Okay. And then just kind of circling back to where we were talking about other ideas, do you think like roofing? Because roofs are a big issue for people. I wonder if roofing
So
would,
with the CDBG program, they look at a house as a whole. So if they're looking to replace just the roofing, they're gonna walk into a full inspection and want to replace
You have to
every
replace everything
other
on the
piece that's not up to code. So those projects start small and become huge.
could feel too individual. Maybe.
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just want to, in honor of thinking differently than we've thought in the past, consider other options.
Okay, any additional questions or comment on this particular issue with council? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the CDBG funding. As submitted.
Second.
Yeah, we have a motion. We have a second. Any final questions, comment, or debate? Mrs. Leary, please call the roll.
Ms. Flasher,
Yeah.
Mr. Cashman.
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
Yes.
Mrs. McCain.
Yes.
Mr. Valella,
Yes.
Mayor Workman,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item 7G, proposed resolution adopting an anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan for the city of Warren. Again, Mrs. Byler.
Following a recent review of the city's practices and policies pertaining to community development block grant funding, the city was advised that it is required to have an anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan be in place. The purpose of the plan is to identify strategies for preventing displacement of low moderate income residents, offering relocation assistance, providing affordable housing options, and ensuring public participation in planning and decision making. Action requested is council's consideration and motion regarding the proposed resolution adopting an anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan for the city of Warren. Enclosed is the proposed resolution and anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan.
Thank you very much. I'd like to offer up to the public an opportunity to speak to council on this particular agenda item. Okay, hearing none, we'll turn it over to council floor. Anybody like to, any questions, comment, or debate, or action taken? Mr.
Can you
Cashman.
explain how this works?
So basically, anytime, if we were to do a project that has to do with housing, if there is a resident in the home and they have to be displaced during construction periods, this is a policy that regulates what we need to do in order to displace them and then bring them back into their home.
Is that the displacement part of the cost to the city or?
It would be part of the grant monies.
Okay.
Okay, any additional questions? Mr. Valella or Mrs. Flasher, would you like, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
I do not.
Okay. All right,
Yeah, I have a question.
go ahead, Mrs. McCain.
Do we have any projects currently where we're planning on displacing anybody? This is just a formality or?
Correct. CDBG comes down from HUD. This is the HUD regulation. We have to have this policy in place, so. But no, we have no current projects displacing anyone.
Okay, so we have to have this in place to get the funds for the last thing we voted on. Thank you.
Okay. Get a motion in a second. Have that?
I'll make the motion that we adopt the proposal as submitted.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any final question, comment, or debate? Mrs. Leary, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Flasher,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert.
Yes.
Mrs. McCain.
Yes.
Mr. Valella,
Yes.
Mayor Workman,
Yes,
motion carries unanimously.
thank you very much. Last agenda item under business, 7H proposed resolution, distribution of state aid to pension plans. Mrs. Byler again. It's your lucky day.
I know. As required by the provisions of Act 205, the city must distribute the Commonwealth's 2025 allocation of state aid to pension plans among the city's 3 plans within 30 days of receipt. The 2025 allocation is in the amount of $495,317.16 and was deposited into the city's account on September 24th, 2025. It is recommended that the allocation be distributed as follows. Firefighters pension plan, $163,714.51. Police pension plan, $226,470.10. Municipal employee pension plan, $105,132.55. Total allocation, $495,317.16. Action requested is council's consideration and motion regarding the resolution distributing the 2025 general municipal pension system state aid allocation, and enclosed is the proposed resolution.
Thank you very much. I'd like again to offer up to the public the opportunity to speak to council on this particular issue. Okay, hearing none, no interest, I'll turn it over to the council floor.
I make a motion that we distribute the money as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Who seconded it?
Mrs. Lurie will have to call.
Mr. Valens have it.
All right.
I heard his voice first.
All right, so a motion and a second. Any final questions, comment, or debate on this particular issue? Mrs. Leary, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Flasher,
Yes.
Mr. Cashman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
Yes.
Mrs. McCain.
Yes.
Mr. Valilla,
Yes.
Mayor Wortman,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much. I would just, I guess I do have a final question or a comment. Can you just comment on the health of the pension plans? This is one of the little known, I think, facts, but it's a great news story in terms of, where we're at as a city, taking care of the employees relative to.
So all three of the pension plans are currently 100% or more funded at this point in time. So this state aid will actually fund the entire pension plan for this year, not requiring the city to contribute anything out of the general fund.
That's just fantastic news. So thank you for sharing that. And I think, a lot of hard work goes into that behind the scenes. So thank you very much for that, because that's hugely important to our employees for sure. So
A lot of thanks goes to the stock market.
that too, but
A lot.
you can mess that up too, as we all know. So,
You cannot be a market timer.
okay, let's see. Proposed resolution distributed, we already did that guy. So we are moving on to the other really fun part of the evening, in addition to the Allegheny River cleanup update. And this is when we get to swear in the new council member. So we will have Mr. Zidonic or Judge Zidonic come forward. And front and center, Mrs. Casey. I'm gonna encourage anybody that would like to take a picture of this great event to go ahead and position themselves to do that. We typically like to do that in front of the, let me get that chair on the flag. Yeah, in front of the flag. Have a nice photo op here.
You want a cheat sheet?
Sure.
Okay, you can have a cheat sheet. Ready? Okay. So raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Savannah Casey,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
I further affirm that I will uphold
I further affirm that I will uphold
the provisions of the Home Rule Charter of the City of Warren, Pennsylvania,
the provisions of the Home Rule Charter of the City of Warren, Pennsylvania,
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
perform and discharge the duties of the office to which I was elected.
perform and discharge the duties of the office to which I was elected.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Savannah. Yay.
I think I hear cheering coming from the Zoom dial-in.
Danny's usually good for that.
That's me. Yay. And we're at the end of the business part, so I can be myself now.
She hasn't changed a bit.
Little fun fact, Savannah and I went to high school together. We go way, way, way back.
This one.
You look like Donald Trump. Sure. After you sign something.
There's a third one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, set. Congratulations again.
That's where.
So Savannah, you can sit in your chair if you'd like. The floor is all yours if you'd like to say anything. Otherwise, we'll wait till November meeting.
Just a thank you. I honestly appreciate it and given the opportunity and look forward to serving from the remainder of the time for the seat. So thank you. Yeah. thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
And thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Schedule and
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You.
I'm sorry, how are you?
Thanks for hanging out the whole meeting.
right. So that moves us to committee updates. We have anything for the comprehensive plan task force?
Yes, Mayor, they met on October 14th. Topics of discussion were, the kiosks that will be installed in the spring. We will be having a meeting with the Advanced Sign Company, finalize all of that, planning and setting a date for installation in the spring. We had a review of the Fall Festival for the downtown group. It was well attended. The business owners were pleased with the turnout. And I believe the Trail of Treats had, I think Cassie said, close to 20 to 25 participants and over 300 people went through the trail. Other item talked about was the upcoming 2026 Downtown Rib Fest. The Rivers have been contacted and contract information has been sent out. Tentative dates for the Rib Fest are June 25th and 27th, which is a Thursday through Saturday event, with more information to come in the future on that. And we also talked about the upgrades to Mulberry Park and where we stand as far as obtaining the funds for that. And the next meeting will be December 9th.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Any questions for the comprehensive plan task force?
Oh, I have a quick question.
Sure.
We have a action plan on the things that we're working on, who's responsible and when they'll be completed.
Yes,
Can that be shared with the council? Or has it been shared? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I missed it.
hasn't been shared, but it can be.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions for the comprehensive plan task force? COG meeting, COG update, Ms. Flasher?
So our last meeting was kind of very typical. A couple of things came out of it, though. We had a long discussion with the hazard mitigation plan, which is why I mentioned my previous comment. Kim, of course, and talked about those updates. We then discussed the county comp plan, and the Youngsville Borough Manager has suggested that COG do an action plan similar to what Mrs. McCain had just asked about. So the COG will start working on that hopefully the next couple of months, figuring out where we as an entity kind of fit in to the comp plan and what projects we could maybe undertake or partner with to facilitate, which I think is a great step in the right direction. And then the Community Engagement Committee of COG is hosting a Student Government Day on Thursday of this week. And we have the Tidiute School, the Warren County School District, and one homeschooler coming in attendance, and we're very excited about it. Other than that, the rest of the updates are just very much the same. And I don't know, Mr. Holt, do you have anything to add? I know you were there, but it was a good meeting.
I think you covered it all. I'm looking at my notes. So.
I just want to put in another plug for the Student Government Day that a lot of the municipalities participate in with the student governments at the high schools. I think it's a fantastic day, to interact with, at multiple levels, within the community, and certainly the student population is critically important to the health and welfare of the city and the county. So I think it's a great program, and I wish everybody that's participating the best for that day. I'm sure it's going to be very well attended, and a lot of great things are going to happen there. I will probably be remoting into that one. But yeah, I think it's a great event. So any other council of government questions? All right, Riverfront Development, Mr. Urisic, is there any updates, latest and greatest on design and engineering, permitting, or what have you?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. City staff will be submitting a grant application to the Appalachian Regional Commission this week in the amount of $1 million. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that.
So how many gates, I call them gates, but or decision points have we gone through up to this point? 2?
We're on the third hurdle. So
Third hurdle or gate or what? Okay, so
this isn't just a total shot in the dark. We think we're getting closer.
we're getting closer. Okay.
The problem is it's also tied into the federal budget.
Well, the federal budget with a Congress that's not working, or the government that shut down.
We'll
Okay.
get all the paperwork.
But is this the third and final? Or
We hope so.
we hope so? Okay, all right. That's great news. I know that persistence pays off, hopefully, in this case. We've been working at this one for a while, so, okay, great.
And then also on the grant front, JPI is conducting our final review of the plans and specifications. And we'll be submitting those to the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission within the next 6 weeks or so to close out their design grant.
Okay. Great.
So,
Mrs. McCain, you have a question?
yeah, so just a little more clarification. So this third and final round, this is specific to the boat launch piece of the riverfront development. Okay, and then what happens?
Once the funding is secured, then
Then you move forward with that, but what about the rest of the riverfront development?
when a plan has been developed for what the community would like to see there, then we would try to secure funding for those pieces of the project as well.
Keep hunting for money.
What?
So, yeah, big picture, this grant application is going towards, rounding out the funding that we need to do the boat launch. The intent is and continues to be to bid it out and start construction in the spring of 2026. Area 2, 3, and 4, based on the input that we have gotten at the last public meetings, there will be on the next, probably in the November meeting, decisions on firms that we're going to employ to do the renderings of, what those areas might look like based on what we've gotten in terms of feedback from the public. No decisions made, however, this is what it could be. And then continuing to have those conversations within the community in terms of funding those particular parts of the overall riverfront development. So thinking it through about the same time at the beginning of the year, when we should have some more information or clarity on grant funding for the launch itself, sending out the bid packages for contractors to start construction. all of those things should come together. Those timelines are kind of converging towards January, early 2026 as part of that process. The fundraising for areas 2, 3, and 4 haven't fundamentally started yet. Everything that we're putting in place from a funding standpoint is going towards the launch. So
the 3 contractors or whatever, the 3 organizations that would be bidding on putting together a master plan for the rest of the boat launch, the riverfront, or?
not necessarily them putting together the master plan, because the inputs are ours. They would be basically taking the ideas that we have generated so far and professionally depict what that would look like. That would then, generate additional discussions in terms of, well, this organization would be very interested in area 2, for instance. I'm making all this up to put this particular item there, or fund that part of the project. Easily, you can talk easily, the walkway on the riverfront on that piece of property, on the riverfront. Say somebody says, well, somebody or an organization were to say that I want to fund that particular part of the project or what have you. What you're talking about, those firms are just firms to do that we can take those ideas back to the public and say, this is what it would look like. This is how it would lay out. These are ideas, your ideas, and what it would look like. And then we can, from that, make final decisions on what that riverfront development project in total is going to look like.
So conceivably, they're going to take the ideas that we've shared with them as a public,
right,
and have a big picture,
right,
so that it's not
on
haphazard. So it looks
right.
like we have a plan, a master plan to do everything that would.
And there might be, a couple different iterations of, area 2 and area 3 based on the number of different ideas for that area, So we haven't gotten for those areas to final decisions on what's going to be put there. But this will be a professional depiction of what that looks like, so we can get to that point.
Okay, thank you.
There's much, yeah. A little complicated, but yeah, that's the intent.
Well, no, it just leaves it to, something that's more like a city plan.
Right.
Sometimes for me, when I go across the riverfront or, and look across at downtown, some of what I see looks haphazard, and hopefully they'll bring that all together.
That's the intent.
Yeah,
Big
and
picture
then
is be able to take a look at it from a holistic perspective. This is what
Right.
it could look like.
and bridge the gap, hopefully between the riverfront and the downtown area. Thank you.
Yes. Any additional questions or comment on that? Okay, thank you very much, Chad. Warren Works, do we have any update on Warren Works?
Not right now. I mean, they were here last month.
I do know, the activities continue with the marketing and branding efforts. They do have, and I think they want to come back at the November meeting because they'll have at least a month's worth of data that they're capturing from all the media engagements that they've had, social media, and we'll get some information back in terms of the success or how many people those efforts are reaching. I know that's a huge part of what we got going on currently. Not directly related, but related. I do think there's been some nice articles written in different forums about how well Warren County is doing currently relative to our peers in terms of tourism and tourism dollars that have been brought into Warren and Warren County over the last couple of years. In all measurable categories, it's double digits in terms of the efforts, and it takes a lot of the efforts that we're talking about. Warren Works, the Visitors Bureau, who's part of Warren Works, you know, all the efforts from the WCCBI, the trails, the beautiful lake and river, you know, the downtown businesses, you know, everybody, you know, really a concerted effort to try to do that. And it's, from my opinion, it's having, you know, the desired results, and we continue on those efforts, but it'll be interesting to see the branding and marketing effort and how that is going to be able to continue to contribute to the overall success of at least what we're seeing right now. So
I hope so. The video was really great, but there's also a lot of negative chatter on social media regarding Warren Works.
It's true. Yes, there's true. I see it quite often and it comes with it. I mean, yeah, you can't appease everybody, but how to dispel those negative comments in a professional manner to explain that it's relatively new still within the first month of seeing the branding side of it coming out and how to educate the public.
And if I may add, I know that Jenny isn't making around the municipalities offering support of the branding toolkit, requesting, you know, their involvement, offering her assistance for TA and any other potential ways to integrate the branding into whatever each municipality has going on, if they're so willing. So I do know there is an active campaign within the Warren Works team to the other municipalities to get that community buy-in that was originally spoke about.
thank you. Okay, any additional committees that would like to update on where things are at?
I think the marketing committee we don't really have a marketing committee because we have the Warren Works. So I wonder if we should just
I think we should just
remove that.
Yeah, I think it was served its purpose. And now
Sunset
that we established the Warren Works and the Comprehensive Plan Task Force, I think you're right. I mean, we should just roll that up in there. And then while we're on committees, Kylie, I am going to ask you, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to. In years past, we've looked to this role we like to recognize a lot of the great things that are happening within Warren Area High School in particular, whether it's an athletic accomplishment or academic accomplishments. We've recognized teams, we've recognized great academics. I'd like for you to take a look at opportunities and which teams to invite, and we can talk more offline about, you know, to recognize their efforts. I'll just use an example. We talked about it earlier. The volleyball team is having another great year, just went undefeated. They're going into the playoffs. They were here last year because they made a run at the state tournament kind of thing. And then from an academic standpoint, you know, opportunities to recognize students that have, you know, achieved at really high levels. But I'd like to pick your brain a little bit on that and invite the right folks here.
Yeah.
We like to celebrate their successes with them. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That leaves us to department reports. Anybody on council have any questions for the department heads at this point? Okay.
Oh, I do have a quick question.
Okay.
So back to this, you know, I always feel like when we get these blue sheets, it's like, oh, this is a pretty easy meeting. And then I'm like, it's the devil's always in the detail. And so now the CDBG fund application is kind of gnawing at me a little bit. What would happen so last year we voted for this grant to go to Hammond Street, and then this year we voted for it. What happens if next year council says, no, we're not going to vote for it?
So we would have to find a different project for the last 2 years, or this general fund would have to fund the remaining of Hammond Street.
So we conceivably could use the $900,000 for something else next year. I'm not saying
There's also there's also some bureaucratic and the timeliness issue, there's spending issue, there's
You have to
plans
qualify the
issues.
project. I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of work that goes into qualifying certain things like the streets. So we would basically be starting from scratch.
There's
not-
dominoes.
I'm just curious. Okay, thanks.
There's a lot of. A lot of bureaucrat, the federal.
It's a little risky to go 3 years for the same thing. You don't know how, when council could change, you know, you don't know how people are gonna vote. Obviously, we found that out.
What?
Okay, so department reports, we have approved minutes for boards and commissions and anything else before we adjourn? Any motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Okay,
Too late.
meeting's adjourned.